Calls to set free temple elephants have grown louder in Tamil Nadu with the recent death of a jumbo in a fire accident and the trampling of a mahout and his relative. Do elephants deserve to be kept chained in place of worship? Vanakkam. This is T. Suresh Kumar. Thank you for joining me in this episode of the Hindu Focus Tamil Nadu. A few days ago, Deivanai, an elephant housed in the famed Tiruchendur Subramanian Swamy Temple, suddenly turned aggressive and trampled to death its assistant mahout and his relative. This jumbo was kept in a fenced enclosure when it attacked the two men. Early assessment by officials of the forest department have indicated that perhaps Deivanai must have overworked or suffered injuries during ceremonies. 2 months earlier, Subbulakshmi, an elephant housed in the famed Sri Shanmuganathar Temple in Kundragudi in Shivaganga district, died in a fire accident. These incidents have now triggered calls from activists and animal lovers to set free elephants that have been chained in temples across Tamil Nadu. In the case of Subbulakshmi, a group of activists representing well-known animal welfare organizations in India has pointed out that while the fire may have been accidental, the death of the jumbo might have been avoidable. Subbulakshmi was kept chained in the temple for nearly 5 decades, and in the end, it was this chain that prevented it from escaping when the fire broke out. Over the years, Tamil Nadu has seen several instances of temple elephants being ill-maintained or ill-treated. In fact, as early as 2010, a 2-year-long study of temple and captive elephants in Tamil Nadu and Kerala that was undertaken by scientists of the Madras Veterinary College had showed that most of them suffered from foot-related problems. Now, foot problem has been one of the most common and major ailment that has afflicted elephants in captivity. Many of these gentle giants in captivity had suffered from cracked nails, hardened foot pads, abrasion of the foot sole, arthritis and the like. In fact, that study pointed out that at that time Tamil Nadu had 53 temple elephants, 48 of them had suffered from some sort of a foot related problem, and of them 23 were major in nature. The scientists had pointed out that captive elephants do not have access to natural vegetation which contained trace minerals and vitamins that promoted foot health. If foot ailments were not treated on time and adequately, it may lead to a very painful death for these elephants. The courts have repeatedly been approached by activists and animal lovers to get relief for such elephants. In fact, 15 years ago, Mariyappan, an elephant that was kept chained on all 4 legs at the famous Samayapuram Mariamman Temple, was set free on the directions of the Madras High Court. This elephant eventually found its way to the Arinjar Anna Zoological Park in Vandalur, or what is known as the Vandalur Zoo. 6 years ago, the Madras High Court had set free Masani, an elephant that was housed in the famous Samayapuram Mariamman Temple. This elephant, incidentally, was donated by former Chief Minister Jayalalitha in 2016. Jayalalitha, who was very religious, had in the past also donated elephant calves to temple. This included Ruku in 1995 to the Tiruvannamalai Temple, and an elephant calf that was donated to the famous Guruvayur Temple in Kerala in 2001. Masani had trampled its mahout to death, and following this, forest department officials had ill-treated the animal, mercilessly beating it. And that is when an animal welfare activist moved the Madras High Court, which set it free back to its habitat. During the hearing of this case, it was pointed out that Masani was originally born at the Teppakadu elephant camp in Mudumalai. Later, when Jayalalitha decided to donate Masani to the temple, it was not able to adjust to the new environment because at the camp in Teppakadu, the animal had a natural bonding with other elephants, and this was missing in the temple premises. Back then, the court had questioned the necessity for keeping elephants in captivity in temples. In fact, the judges had wondered which Agama Shastra mandated that animals be forced to kept in a small enclosure in temples. At that time, the judges had said that someday this court is going to ban the practice of keeping elephants in temples. Incidentally, these words turned prophetic in 2021 when the Madras High Court, the first bench in fact, had passed an interim order directing the state not to take any elephants captive, whether in private or to be kept in temples in the future. This order was passed on a petition filed by an activist, Rangarajan Narasimhan, who argued that religion did not insist on animals being kept in captivity. In fact, he said that most of these elephants did not develop a bond with the mahouts because there were no permanent mahouts in many temples. Besides, the animals were being forced to stand in the same place for a long time, and they were also kept in a very small enclosure. Last year, hearing another case, Justice Swaminathan of the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court directed the HREC department, that is the Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowments Department, to direct all temples not to acquire any elephants in the future. He also said that the time has come now to decide whether all the elephants in the temples must be moved to government rehabilitation camps. The judge pointed out that in many of the temples, the elephants were housed in completely unacceptable conditions. The concrete flooring, the tin roofing, the lack of freedom, and inadequate supply of food make their lives hell. He also pointed out that sometimes these elephants turned aggressive and violent because they were unable to bear the separation from their family and found it difficult to adjust to the new environment, and were also sometimes being tortured in these temples. Tamil Nadu presently has more than 25 elephants in its temples. Many of these elephants were transported to the state on transit permits from states such as Assam or Kerala or the Union Territory of Andaman and Nicobar. Most of them have overstayed and they have not been returned to their origin states. So, is there an alternative to temple elephants? Yes, if we go by recent examples. Last year, a robotic elephant was donated to the Shivan temple in Gudalur, and it has been a hit with the devotees. These mechanical elephants are almost true to life. They are eco-friendly, cost-effective, low cost in maintenance, and safe. Besides, they also provide employment opportunities to our artisans. As an interim measure, it would be a good idea to follow what the Madras High Court had suggested 3 years ago. Create natural surroundings on vast tracts of land owned by temples. The elephants can be kept in these tracts of land and taken to temples only during festivities. Let us hope that someday the temple elephants are freed from their smaller enclosures and are able to roam freely in the natural habitat, if not in the wild, at least in rejuvenation camps. On that note, this is D. Suresh Kumar signing off. I shall meet you in another video. Thank you.